What actually triggers avoidance to pull away? That's a very good question, and a lot of people think that it's something that they did or said, just one text, one conversation, or one mistake. But the truth is that in reality, avoidants don't pull away because of one moment. They pull away because something inside of them gets activated. So in this video, I just want to break down what really triggers avoidance to pull away, why it happens when things seem to be going very well, and how understanding this can actually help you stop taking it so personally. If you find this video useful, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel because I will be adding more videos about avoidance, anxious attachment, and becoming more secure. Okay, let's talk about the low battery effect. You can basically think of an avoidant like a phone that's constantly running on low battery. When the battery drops, the phone automatically goes into low power mode, right? Background apps just shut down, notifications get limited, and non-essential functions just turn off. And pulling away works the same way for avoidance. When emotional demands, closeness, or just stress drain their system, distance is how they save their energy. So they are not exactly rejecting you, they are trying to stop their system from completely shutting down. One of the biggest triggers for avoidance is emotional intensity. Deep talks, relationship check-ins, and a lot of just emotional talk, especially very early or during a stressful time, that can feel very overwhelming to avoidance. So when things become more intense, avoidants don't move towards reassurance, they choose distance. And it's not because they don't care, it's because intensity feels unsafe to their nervous system. Now let's move to the next triggers. It's feeling needed for emotional regulation, and it's the loss of autonomy. Avoidants pull away when they feel responsible for someone else's emotional stability. If they sense that your mood or your peace or sense of safety depends on them, that adds just additional pressure very quickly. They may not say it out loud, but internally it just feels like a burden, and distance becomes their way of reclaiming autonomy. It's not because you are asking for too much, but because their system doesn't know how to stay connected without feeling trapped. And as you know, avoidants highly value independence. So when they feel all of these expectations, labels, or future conversations, they kind of interpret it as a loss of freedom, even if no one's actually taking it away. And this is why avoidants can pull away right when things start feeling stable. So closeness plus expectations can trigger the fear of being consumed. The only way for them to get the control back is the distance. Another trigger that I have to mention is the conflict and emotional repair. So talking things through, talking about feelings, or sitting with discomfort can feel very overwhelming for them. So instead of opening up, they just shut down or disappear. So honestly, for avoidance, pulling away is the only way to avoid any emotional stuff. They just want to shut down, avoid all tough conversations, and then after a few days or a few weeks, they come back like nothing ever happened. And the last trigger that I want to mention is the paradox of being deeply seen. This one surprises people because avoidance can pull away when they feel deeply seen. And real intimacy means being known, right? So you know everything, the strengths, the flaws, everything. For avoidance, that level of exposure is very dangerous. So distance becomes protection, and it's not protection from you, but from the fear of being truly known and potentially rejected. The main takeaway I want you to get from this video is that when avoidants pull away, it's very rare that it's because of the fact that you are doing something wrong. You are not doing anything wrong. It's just their own system, and this is their way of dealing with stuff. However, I want to say that understanding this doesn't mean tolerating inconsistency or emotional unavailability. So it just helps you to stop blaming yourself for someone else's coping strategy. You can have empathy without abandoning yourself, and it's not your fault and it's not your problem that someone else is emotionally unavailable. So whenever avoidants pull away, you just can't take it personally, because this is how they react, and honestly, there is nothing wrong with you, and you have to remember that because it's very important. And what helps avoidance isn't chasing, explaining, or just talking about emotions. That usually raises the temperature even more. What helps is calm, grounded energy, clear boundaries, and your own self-regulation. Security just helps, because then avoidance just feels safer with you. Of course, becoming more secure if you are dealing with the avoidant who's constantly running away and pulling away from you, it's not that easy, I'm not gonna lie, but it's possible, and it's all about your mindset. So you need to be grounded, you need to have clear boundaries, and it's gonna protect you from getting stuck in this push-pull cycle. So in the end, avoidants pull away when closeness feels very overwhelming. It's not because the connection is bad, but because they don't feel yet safe inside of that connection, but it has nothing to do with you. You just have to remember that you can't stop avoidance from pulling away by doing more. You just have to give them space, and you can't take it all personally. Hopefully you learned something new, and of course, if you want more videos on avoidant attachment, anxious avoidant dynamics, and becoming more secure, subscribe to this channel, because I will be adding more videos about these topics. Thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next one. See you next time.